What is up? I'm here with Jimmy Whitt, former Arkansas Razorback basketball player, and soon to be professional basketball player. So, Jimmy, tell me, how's everything going? How's life right now for you?
Life has been good. Just moved back to Dallas probably 3 months ago now, and I've just been doing my draft training up here at Michael Johnson Fitness. Just doing what I can to stay prepared, stay ready. Everything's going on with COVID and everything, so things go day by day. Information comes day by day, so it's really just trying to stay physically, mentally prepared when anything can happen at any moment.
So, tell us a little bit about the draft process and what are some of the things that you're doing. So, obviously, you're working out. But what's the draft process like for the people at home who have no idea how that works?
So the draft process has been a lot different than years past. Everything has been virtually. So the teams, first off, they started to be able to do interviews. So I was able to do about 10 to 12 interviews with different NBA organizations. That was the first step of things they could do. Then when it came down to them being able to watch workouts and everything, that was all also online. So for me personally, I was able to do the combine testing. We recorded it, sent it into teams, and then I was able to do some shooting drills, different basketball stuff, record that and be able to send it in as well. All that process was online, no in-person workouts or anything like that.
So the combine was recorded, and then you sent in video to the NBA, and then they break it down.
Yeah, yep. So there were some people that went to different locations. I was at Michael Johnson, so they have certified trainers and everything. So we were able to use those numbers officially and send them in.
Oh, okay, that's new. So, how are you handling and how are you dealing with it? 2020 and things not being how you thought they were going to be. When you were coming out of college, you thought this process would look a little different. Like, how are you handling the change?
It was obviously hard at first because being a senior, you have a lot of opportunities after the season's over, like Portsmouth Invitational, Reese's All-Star Game, like this 3-on-3, Dos Equis tournament, things like that, where you can go out and showcase your skill and things you may not have done in college because you're on your own now. You can show different aspects of your game. But just being able to take advantage of the time, I think coming out of college for everybody, there's like 2 or 3 months before the draft process starts and everything, before the draft actually happens. And you've expanded that now due to COVID to like 6, 7 months, basically the whole year. And people can change their games dramatically. So just being able to take advantage of that for myself and work on parts of my game that these teams wanted to see improvement in, I think I was able to do.
So, piggybacking off of that, you've put a lot of work in on your shooting. I know that's one area of your game that you continue to work on every day. Give us a little background on some of the things you've done with shooting and what you're adding to your game in terms of that.
It's been one of those processes I've been really proud of, just being able to start from the ground up, given how much time I've been had. Starting with the feet, obviously, getting a strong, solid base. So whenever you're moving, trying to catch it, whether you're shooting on balance, off balance, you have a good, strong base. Working on trying to get it fluid, one motion. There's been a lot of improvement. I'm proud to be able to put out different videos that show the improvement to not only fans but also obviously NBA organizations, people that want to be able to visually see those type of things due to the fact that you can't get in there and do in-person workouts. And that's really helped me tremendously and honestly put me in a really good position going into the draft on Wednesday and then free agency starting the 22nd.
That's good. So you mentioned how the process is almost doubled in length from normally getting out of college, you get out of the tournament, you have like 3 months. Now it's like 6, 7 months. What has been your day-to-day mindset, and how do you stay present, knowing that it's coming, but it's taking a really long time, and the workouts may get they get methodical because it's the same single every single day. How do you keep your mindset sharp? And just knowing that this will all pay off.
It's just a mindset that knowing the greatest things in life come with patience and hard work. So it may not come when you want it to come, but it all comes in due time. So just being able to keep my head down, work hard, and know every time it gets pushed back, that's more opportunity for me to work and improve so that when it does come time, because at some point we all know, like this last season, it came back at some point. So we do know that at some point it'll start again. So whenever that happens, just making sure you're ready for that opportunity becomes opportunities come and go. You may not get multiple, you may only get one. So just taking all this time and use it to your advantage.
So how do you said opportunities come and go. You might only get one. How does that make you feel knowing, like, the NBA is one of those tough, it's 350 jobs in the entire world, and you're trying to get one. How do you, how does it make you feel when it's like you might have one shot at this, and you might have more, but you might have one shot, and you got to perform in that one shot, and you may not ever get another shot again. How do you sleep at night knowing that could very well be the case?
First off, if you know every day you've worked hard enough for that opportunity and knowing that you're just going to give it your 100%, whether it goes your way or doesn't, I think that's what helps me personally sleep at night, knowing whether it goes my way or whether it doesn't, I gave it all I had. I worked as hard as I could. But then it's also knowing your strengths and knowing what these teams are looking for. A lot of guys may go into an opportunity thinking, I want to be the next LeBron or the next Kobe, but that may not what gets you in the door. That may be what messes up that only opportunity that you do get. So you have to have a realistic view and know what these teams want, what they're looking at you to do, and then you go in there and do that to the best of your ability. My mindset is getting my foot in the door, getting my opportunity, getting on the court, and then trying to expand from there. Once you get on the court, it really comes down to what you produce and what you do for the team. Regardless, let's say you're a role man, you may get hot one game and they're feeding you the ball, and all of a sudden you go from a role man to one of the premier players. But you don't get to that point if you don't play a role. So I think for me, that's my mindset, is just going into wherever opportunity I have, just knowing I'm going to play my role to the best of my ability.
That's good. And I'm here with Jimmy Whitt, potential NBA prospect, and former Arkansas Razorback basketball player. I really like that mindset. I don't know if you saw Alex Caruso. He put out a quote the other day where he was saying, a lot of guys who come into the league think they're coming in interviewing for that star role position, when they're really interviewing for the janitor cleanup guy role position. And some guys, get that mixed up, thinking, like you said, they're going to come in and be the next LeBron, and things like that, versus come in, get your foot in the door, play your role. And then, once you play your role, then, add to your game here, add to your game here. And then, you look back 3 or 4 years down the line, then you are in that role where you might be shooting more shots, and scoring more. So that's a really cool mindset to have. So NBA, you're in the draft process. What is give me the top 2 things that you think you can provide on an NBA court if you had to play a game today?
I think defense and rebounding, that's what I hang my hat on. The little things, being able to guard 1 through 5, being able to rebound for a guard is huge, because as we know, if a guard gets the ball, you can instantly just push it up the court. That's half a second in a league that's such fast paced, and the pace of play is up from years past. So being able to cut off seconds here and there in a game could be huge. It could be make or break to 2 points that win you a ball game or lose you a ball game. So being able to hang my hat on intangibles that don't have to do with offense, especially from a guy in my position, height-wise, position-wise, being able to guard my position because there's such great offensive players in my position, I feel like will have huge value to any organization that decides to give me an opportunity.
So you coming up in this process, and you don't really know what's going to happen. A lot of this stuff is up in the air right now. So say you have to have a stint in the G League. How do you have your mindset prepared to play, in the G League where you're busing a lot of places, where I know there's not going to be a lot of fans due to COVID, but normally, like in the G League, there's not going to be a ton of fans. How are you getting your mind ready for that grind if you have to do that? Because I'm assuming, you might, even if you get picked up from a team, they might have you in the G League for a little while, try to get you like acclimated with the NBA game. How are you getting your mind ready if you have to, spend a little bit of time in the G League?
I think for me personally, a G League's a great place to obviously it's there to develop your game, but if you can go there and show you're going to get extended minutes, hopefully if you're one of those guys that they want to really see develop and you get those extended minutes, you're able to go there and show not only that you can play a role, but if you're playing 30 minutes a game, you may be one of those guys on the G League team that are like the LeBron of the team or a really premier player. So you could go out there and potentially show all-star potential or higher level play that you might not be able to do or show if you're playing for an NBA team. So thinking about it from that perspective and just being able to go out there and show all aspects of your game on a level and minute basis that you may not get in an actual NBA game, I think is an interesting part of the G League that I think guys overlook sometimes just because they feel like they may be in a developmental league.
So apart from the basketball side of things, how have you, what has been your approach on the physical body, nutrition, and just the well-being side of sports? Because, you know, a lot of people think, okay, it's a lot of skill work, but what have you been doing to make sure your body is in tip-top shape, so that when stuff starts to happen, you know, when you get called to a team, when you get signed to a team, that you're ready to go and you don't have a lull where you got to get back in shape?
I think that's actually an overlooked part for maybe a lot of guys because you go in thinking I have so much time, I don't know when things are going to happen, things keep getting pushed back. You just focus so much on the basketball aspect, but you have to think that, let's say the season started tomorrow, you're going to have to be ready physically and conditioned to be able to step onto a court and be able to go play however many minutes and however many games, 82, 72 games, however long the season is. So from my standpoint, I'm trying to be game ready every single day. At any moment, I want to be able to, somebody looks at me and says, okay, we're playing, I got to play you 35, 30 plus minutes. I want to be able to go out there and be able to do it at a high level. It's not me trying to find my wind or find my second gear. I just want to be able to be physically ready. So for me, I've been able to put on about 10 pounds as teams wanted me to do, since I'm going to have to obviously guard stronger, quicker guys. I'm more athletic. I feel great. My body's probably the best it's ever been in my career. So just that mindset of being ready physically, mentally.
And speaking of mentally, I wanted to get in another question about that. So do you do anything? I know a lot of guys, you know, like LeBron is really big on his mental health. You know, Steph Curry is also big on mental health. Kevin Durant, do you do anything, or are you conscious of understanding that you have to be just as good in mental shape as you do in physical shape for basketball?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anybody that's played a sport knows there's highs and lows. If you get caught up in what other people are saying or doing, you can go into some real dark lows. But for me, it's more of a affirmation and visualization type thing. I like to visualize my successes, and affirmation, I try to speak them, manifest them into existence, speak positively about myself, speak positively about my future, never catch myself saying I can't do something or things won't go my way. Just always have those high hopes for yourself, because there's always going to be somebody that doesn't believe or tries to knock you down. But I think that comes into making sure you surround yourself with the right people and you're doing the right things for your own mental health, whether that's talking to other people, whether that's seeking outside help, whatever you need to do. I think in this world, that's huge in the sports world, because crazy things can happen, crazy things can get said about you, and you just have to be able to know how to deal with it, know how to push it to the side.
Yeah, I think that's such a smart approach, because if you like, the world is already trying to get you down. You can't be trying to you can't get yourself down. So you can't. Yeah, like I've been trying this thing where like I refuse. I can't say anything negative about anything I'm doing or anything about myself. And just watch how your life changes if you only speak positive things. If you only speak, you know, positive energy into the air, about what you're doing, about yourself. You know, it actually does make a difference. So I like that you're bringing in the mental aspect of basketball as well. Jimmy, I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I just want to ask you one more thing. So if I'm an NBA GM, I'm an NBA scout, and I'm looking at Jimmy I'm looking at Jimmy Whitt in 2020 to add to my team. What are some things that I should know about Jimmy Whitt that that would make me want to either draft him or pick him up on draft night and acquire him and make him be a part of my organization?
I think if you're looking to win and you're looking for those players that who can I plug in with anyone and who can be a great teammate, a great locker room guy, but also go and produce on the court, doesn't need to necessarily be the guy, can affect the game in different ways. I think that's what I hang my hat on. I don't need to have a great offensive night to be able to affect the game in a winning way because I know I can rely on my defense every single night. I think offense is a bonus. Just be a guy that can look at a game and say, what does the team need? Does the team need scoring? Does the team need me to get the ball to our scores? Does the team need me to guard the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever needs to be done? I think that's the type of player I am. Because at the end of the day, it's honestly about winning. If you're winning, everyone looks good. If you're losing and you're scoring 30, I mean, somebody has to score those points at the end of the day. So I think it looks better. Everyone gets what they want at the end of the day if you're winning, and it just helps a whole organization. That's just the type of player I am.
You guys have it. Jimmy Whitt here, 2020 NBA draft prospect. I'm looking forward to seeing where life takes you next. I got my teams that I'd like to see you on, but we'll see. Another thing is, are you expecting to hear some news like as soon as the draft is over, draft day, like do things go that fast, or is it going to be a little bit different where like if you don't get drafted, is it going to be a few weeks, or is it like, the draft is over, say you don't get drafted, and then it's like, you're making a decision right then and there?
I think due to the fact and hearing from the teams I've talked to, the teams that are really interested, my time is going to be more post-draft,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. I think that's the position I'm in, and I'm excited as the week goes on. I get more and more excited because since the season is set to start December 2nd, the second the draft happens, I feel like things are going to get moving.
Yeah.
Today, the trade started today. We've seen some big-time trades happening throughout the league. So I think as things start to pick up and definitely as the draft happens and people start to make different moves and then free agency opens the 22nd, I think that's when we'll start to get more information and we'll start to see the pieces of the puzzle start to connect.
All right, Jimmy. Thanks so much for the time. Good luck tomorrow and throughout the process, and keep working. And we'll have you back on here. Once things start settling down, you kind of get an idea of what you're doing. We'll have you back on here and kind of see how the process is going.
But appreciate it. Appreciate you for having me.
All right, guys. This is Jimmy Whitt. Thank you, guys.